wife Brenda and I have had a talk about what we want to do here, and we're going to put in a pond about a foot deep, and that will allow us to put wet area plants in there, plants that live in water. We've got a few down the back already in the dam that have come up naturally. That water will come up to about here, and we'll have a little pocket here. I want to put maybe an Australian grass tree there. So there'll be a small garden there. That'll be a pond. So I've got to excavate that out. There's a number of materials that I could use to make the pool. Obviously, being a fiberglasser, I could just make it out of fiberglass. I've got one or two old baths down the back, fiberglass baths, so I could dig a hole and put those in. But what I'm going to do is what I did at my previous place. I'm going to form the pond, just free-form it with ready-mix concrete, and then I'll seal that. That'll give me something strong, simple, easy, cheap to make. You might notice the white chalk line I've put across the bottom of the rocks. That's what I've worked out where I want the height of the water to be. I don't want to drown too much of these rocks and lose them. So that's where I want the water to go. And last night, after dark, I got out my laser sight that's used. I bought it for tiling in the house. It gives you a horizontal line and a vertical line. You basically set it up so it's almost level, and then it finds level itself. So I put that there last night, and that gave me the level that I need to build to. So now I've got that chalk line, I can work off that and build the outside edge up and know that everything's going to be right. This will be a pool that will just naturally overflow. So I want all the edges pretty right, and the spill will just go out onto the grass in the driveway. There's no dramas there. There won't be any fish in it, and there can't be any fish in it because we've got kookaburras and all sorts of birds that eat fish out of ponds here. We've got yabbies down the back, but I don't think it'll be deep enough for that. So it'll just be a pond with water plants in it. So now I've got to dig this out and get the depths that I need. Another easy way to make a garden pond is to just use pond liner plastic, but that requires the laying of a complete outside perimeter edge to hold it in place. And in this case I couldn't do that because I'd already laid my rock wall. If you ever use that method, make sure you use proper pond liner plastic rather than cheap builder's plastic, because that doesn't have the long-term UV stability that pond liner plastic does. But you knew that already, didn't you? Yes. I could just rely on the concrete to hold the water in my rock pond, but it's far wiser to seal it. And I'm going to use water-based bitumen paint, which is compatible with rainwater, so you can seal drinking water tanks with it, and that also means that it's friendly for frogs. But of course, in my case, I have to overdo it. I will combine this with light 225 gram or 8 ounce chopped strand matte fiberglass. Why? Well, because I have rolls of it lying around, so it doesn't cost me anything. And the fiberglass will make a super strong but flexible membrane. Time to change into some daggy clothes. Now got to cap off this block wall that I laid, and I could use just more rocks, but I think that'd tend to be a little bit boring, and I'm starting to run out of rocks, which at Girvan is unbelievable. But when we cleared up the old garden on the side of the banking of the house, we found these, which are concrete steps that are moulded off railway sleepers, and these are the perfect width to cap off these blocks, and so these are what I'm going to use, and would you believe it, I've got enough plus one.